it and we'll be able to share that with you. Yeah, the recording started. I've got Sue coming in here. That's good. Hi, Sue. We're just making a start. Thanks for joining us. So we'll start off with a couple of introductions. I'm Sally Darley and I'm the Community Development Manager for YMCA Lincolnshire, and leading our wonderful team of officers who are working right across the county, supporting people like yourselves to get things moving and get more things going in their community, or to find the right information or the right funds, or get the right policies, procedures in place as well in some cases. So that's me, and this is my colleague Wes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Wes Shelbourne. I work for the YMCA as well as part of the Just Lincolnshire department, which is quite a new part of Lincolnshire YMCA, and our focus is very much around working with groups of people and communities around recognising and challenging inequities, things that aren't fair, and looking to sort of include as many people in communities in resolving those issues as possible, in a nutshell.
So because we're quite a small group, it might be quite nice just to get a flavour of where everybody's coming from, and maybe what group or organisation you're representing today, if you don't mind. So I'm going to go around my screen. So Fiona.
I'm Fiona Harrison. I'm from Old Leek Community Centre, and I also run the hub at the community centre.
Does everyone know where Old Leek is? Yeah. Maybe. Was such a vast.
It's between Boston and Skegness, sort of pretty much in the middle there on the A52.
Lovely, thanks. And Jane?
Oh, hi, hello. I've got my camera on in a minute, but my the computer's in the hall. So,
okay, that's fine.
It's really bad.
That's okay.
But I live in Hundleby. I help run. We have a community cafe in Hundleby monthly, which I help run, and which is doing really well. But it would be really helpful to be able to kind of get some people along to talk to people about things and stuff like that. But I'm also parish council for Partney and Old Bolingbroke, so I kind of feed things back via
Okay, lovely. And so you're up in East Lindsey, Jane, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, great. And Roy? Hi, Roy, are you there? Oh, we'll come back. Yeah.
Mute.
No? Oh, we'll come back to you, Roy, okay? Val?
Oh, thanks, Sally. Hello, everybody. I'm Val Ogden, and I'm representing Boston's Methodist churches, of which there are 6. There's Centenary in the town centre of Boston, and then we have Curtin and Swineshead and Gypsy Bridge, and Brothertoft Road and Norfolk Street. So the point of being on the meeting is we have various conversations with YMCA in different places and spaces, and we want to be very open to loving our neighbours in community and so on. And so I'm really interested to come on the meeting. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Val. And Carl?
So Scovic St Nicholas Community Centre, formerly church hall, which we took the not ownership, the tenancy of, if for want of a better word, from the church about sort of 15 years ago. We operate to provide a facility for local people to use for parties and meetings and that sort of thing.
Lovely, thanks, Carl. And Chris?
Hi, Chris. I'm new to the voluntary sector. Before I was always in paid work. I'm trying to formalise a wellbeing group in Welton in the village hall. So I'm just looking around for. Hopefully, we'll get it sorted next month. But we're in February now, so it'll be this month. And I'm looking around for any advice and pointers that I can pick up from any other groups.
Lovely, you're in the right place. And Jo?
Hi there. So I am a member of Gosberton Parish Council, which is near Spalding. But I think I don't know how I've assumed this role, but I sort of have started to talk to the different community groups that we've got going, and I'm a big supporter of our local one anyway. So I'm just really here to sort of find out what I can and share ideas back with those groups as and when necessary. So we have a Methodist Church group, a community group in Gosberton Reisgate, and then there's a youth club in Gosberton. They seem to do all right on their own, to be honest. I don't know. So yeah, so I'm just here to see how I can sort of share information back with them.
Great. And Sue? Oh, we can't hear you, Sue. Sue, you're just on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, hi. I'm just a general member of the public in Swineshead. Very interested in getting the community out of their homes and together. I've done a lot of work. I've only been here a year. Done work with the Swineshead St Mary's Church. We do a lot of events in Swineshead. They're really successful. But it's more about getting people out of their houses. Like my neighbour for 6 years hadn't been out of her house, and she's come along now, met some people in groups that I go to. So how do we get to those houses? And I met with Beth from YMCA, and she suggested she'd do some surveys, and then she can go around with their little tag and knock on the doors, which is, I'm not qualified to do that. So if we can start knocking on the doors of people and just finding these very lonely or cut off, isolated people, then that's why I'm here, just to try and get ideas from people. How do we get people more involved in the community?
Lovely.
Thank you.
Oh, it's really nice to hear. Thanks so much. So if I just kind of go through what we had a kind of rough plan today. So we've planned a bit of a session today, but future sessions would rely on really what people want and what to hear, what want to see, and how you want to spend time together. This is a network that we thought we'd pilot, but basically from working across the county, we kind of get a flavour of different themes coming through from different people. We know there's loads of people out there who are working really hard, but sometimes it can be quite isolating, can't it? You can be off over in the corner of a county, not really quite knowing where to get help from, where to get support from, or where to get information from. You are the experts, so it makes sense to kind of bring people together. We are planning something like a webinar like this once every 2 months. And in between, we also thought we could try an online network as well. So something like a Facebook group, for example, where people can keep in touch with each other or throw out questions or share information kind of in between time. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on that at the end of the session to see how you'd like to take it forward. One of the key themes that we've been hearing is how it's sometimes quite difficult to get people to participate and engage. So that's maybe attending activities and events as attendees, but also those really vital people that you need to help run the activities and events. So volunteers, helpers, supporters, people who can give time, but also give maybe their voice, their opinion, and getting involved. And we hear from quite a lot of communities that it's maybe tricky to reach everybody and get a really good spread of views from all different people who might be in your village and your locality. And how do you do that? Because you want to hear from everybody, so you're really supporting the whole of the community. So that was kind of our theme, really, and we thought openness was quite a nice term for that. So openness in terms of listening and being welcoming for everybody. Everybody's views are heard, and everybody's welcome to share their views or come along and get things going, or come along and attend things. So that's how we came up with our kind of can do logo, so hopefully that'll work nicely. So during the session today, we're just going to have a little a discussion, and we've got a bit of interactivity around what we think the benefits are of including a wide variety of people, and maybe what some of the challenges are, because that's what you want to share and what you want to know about, aren't they? We'll use that information then maybe to plan what we can do in future sessions, or plan what kind of information, resources, what kind of speakers or presenters we can invite in the future. We can kind of break it down to be a bit more specific. So just be aware today is an introductory session just to kick off the discussion and see how it lands and see how you want. We do only have an hour, and so please don't be offended if we're kind of moving along quite swiftly. We know that you're giving your time this evening and we really appreciate it. So we'll try and keep on track as much as we can. If just for kind of etiquette, if you could just remember to mute your microphones if you can when you're not speaking. So we're only a small group. It's fine if you want to pop your hand up, or I don't know if everybody's familiar with the little hand raise sign at the top of the along your toolbar. But yeah, if you pop your hand up at any time, but just to cut down kind of on background noise. Yeah, there, you found it, Val. Yeah. Yeah, if you could just mute, that'd be great. And well, let's just kind of crack on to the next section. Oh, I've got some slides that I should be sharing. Okay. That's introductory session. So I'm going to hand over to Wes, and he's going to lead this section.
Great. Good evening, everyone, and it's really appreciated that you're giving time to join this conversation. As Sally's already alluded to, this is the start, hopefully, of an ongoing conversation that will really explore some of the issues that are maybe challenges for local communities, local community groups, village halls, committees, etc. But also, what are some of the opportunities as well, and maybe we can sort of learn from one another, as well as being able to focus on those issues that are important to us. So just for the next 10 minutes, I want us to explore the question that you hopefully can see on your screen, which is, what are the benefits of getting involved in local decision making? And actually, I think this is a really important question, because quite often there can be a perception, and more than a perception, it can be very accurate actually, that decisions are made elsewhere, and decisions that impact communities and affect communities are out of the control of local residents. And there's a feeling quite often of, I guess, being done to, and decisions sometimes being imposed on. Whereas actually, probably where the energy really is when local residents and local communities work together to do what is relevant for their local community. So I'd like us to explore this question, and I'm going to throw this open to yourselves to either share some comments with the group as to what are the benefits of getting involved, or putting comments in the chat feature as well, if you want to do it that way. But maybe a good question to just encourage this thinking is, can you share a story about a time you and neighbours, and by neighbours I don't just mean next door neighbours, I'm talking about maybe residents within your local community, but can you share a story about a time you and neighbours joined together to make things better in your village, area or community? Because I think quite often as I said, the energy is quite often when people gather together around a local issue, a celebration, something they do together. So is anyone willing to either share a story or make some comments about times that you and neighbours joined together to make things better? and what was the impact of that? Right, Joe, I can see you've got your hand raised there.
Yeah, sorry, I'm on a mobile phone, so putting myself on mute and not on mute takes me a while. But I think just to share an example, so our local community centre, I'm going to call it the community centre. It's like a hall, it's not the village hall, it's just, you know, a group, an association, if you like, that have brought social events to the village for many years. And the committee was basically the same for the best part of 10 years. So they did the same events every year, and it was spaced out the same. And what happened is, like, obviously those committee members sort of slowly started to change. They, you know, they decided 10 years was enough, and they've got new committee members in. It actually has a whole new committee now. But the variety of events that we now have on in our village is so different. And I think sometimes either a bit of change or bring in one or two different people into a group, if you can, if there's volunteers, it does help just bring a bit of diversity of events. We actually have a bit of a, like, Britain's Got Talent type event coming up in our village, and I really hope it's supported because it's really out there for us. But I love it how the energy is to try something new, and if it doesn't work, they go, you know what, it didn't work, and they move on to the next one. So I think the variety of the team being involved in those local decisions does help bring fresh ideas to then the residents that live in the villages.
And Joe, what sort of feedback are you getting back from the residents and the villagers about maybe the greater variety of stuff that's happening?
Yeah, so I'm a supporter of our local community. I'm not so much. I said today to one of the members, I'm an honorary member. They draw me in when they need me to help, and I've got YMCA Lincolnshire Ben Mills in contact with them to help. So I guess really that's my role. But I think it just, you know, like, the residents are just, it's something different. It's brings different people together. It's not the same people going all the time, so they're meeting new people. And also the latest committee is actually made up this is going to sound really bad, of outsiders, you know, people that haven't lived in the village for as long as, like, my parents that have lived here for 65 years, and I think it's created friendships and it's made people feel really welcome. So I think the variety also sparks different people's interests, and then you just get more people come along, but generally really good.
And I think it's really interesting you use the word as well, they're welcome, and you know, people who maybe previously have felt that maybe what was happening wasn't for them, or they didn't quite fit in, now feel that maybe there's a space for them to start mixing and to sort of connecting with other people in the community.
And the committee as well are really good. If they identify a member that joins the committee that might be a little bit more negative and a little bit less welcoming, they do act and they move them on pretty quickly. It sounds harsh, but, you know, they've built up such a good reputation, they don't want that to be damaged. And we had that with the last committee. And then there's another group in a neighbouring village, which is still within our parish. You know, some of the leaders in that group are a little bit hostile, and it does put you off from going to their events. And there's a lot of negativity about that particular group of people, and it's, you know, they're doing some good work, but that reputation damages, I think, some of the work that they're doing. So it's important. I work in HR as well, just to let you know, so
okay,
I'm used to doing moving people on if you need to, but
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for your contribution, Joe.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'll see another hand up there as well, Val.
Okay, thanks, Wes. I just wanted to pick up from what was it Joe, sorry, was just saying there, about hostility if groups are too cliquey. I think that's really courageous to speak about that, and it's so true. And that can happen, you know, sadly in churches as well. We hate to think it, but it can be, you know, in any sort of institution. And the story I wanted to share, I think I want to share it humbly, but Centenary in Boston, in the town centre, we serve community meals twice a week to about 60, 70 guests. We cook from supermarket surplus. There's a wonderful team of volunteers that have gathered, who not all church people at all. People have just wanted to share in cooking food and providing food and having a sort of little banquet twice a week, really. And the wonderful thing about that is neighbours getting together, as it were, or people across Boston, is it's so diverse. So at one time, Centenary Church would have served meals. It's always had a tradition of hospitality, but would serve a meal specifically for, and I'm just stereotyping here, you know, the poor and the lonely and the homeless and all those categories. Do you know what I mean? It's always like you had to sign up to being poor, lonely, homeless, inadequate, you know, to get a meal. And 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I mean, we just felt so prompted and called to say, actually, let's just eat together, whoever we are. And so on a Wednesday or a Friday in our central hall, you know, you would have people from a whole cross section across Boston, different languages, different backgrounds. You know, somebody, you know, who's been rough sleeping the night before will be sitting at a table with, you know, a posh Lincolnshire lady with her coat on, her nice woolly coat on, you know, between having a conversation and building relationships. I know I'm sort of talking in stereotypes there, but I'm just trying to build the picture. And I think anything we can do just to be humanity, really, and not be cliquey, but this theme of openness, you know, let's not be cliquey, but let's just to say, you know, say that you know, humanity is wonderful, and celebrate it, and celebrating it over food, over a banquet really works at our Centenary Church and other places as well. So that was my story. Thank you.
Thanks, Val. And I think it's really interesting that we've, you know, Joe mentioned about welcome, and Val, you've mentioned about sort of gathering round the table, so to speak, and around food and a drink. And these are things that are actually in some ways quite simple and straightforward to do, but actually quite often get overlooked. And this is exactly the sort of the thing I was hoping that would be drawn out here, because it's these are things that don't need an awful lot of sort of decisions made at a high level or a local authority level. These are things communities can do for themselves. We've got a couple more hands up.
Sue first. Sue's first, and then Fiona.
Sue and then Fiona. Excellent, thanks.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I've only been in this village for about a year, and I got starting volunteering, which I've never done in my life before. And I immediately could feel hostilities between about 4 different areas in the village. It's only a small village, but we're gradually breaking those down, and I think that's very positive. It's going to take time, and because, like somebody else mentioned, that quite a few of the people on our committee, that I only work for one committee in the village, are outsiders, you know, from, you know, another town or place in the country, and that there's some of that to break down, but it's working, you know. Let's not leave that barrier. Let's break those barriers down, and it's really good. We've had some really successful gatherings. We've got a new archive thing where we've got all of the history of the village. It's got a lot of the older people out that are meeting with the newer people, and that seems to be wonderful. We have Christmas festivals, hundreds of people came to that, and a lot more advertising. I've done a lot of pushing, and a lot of things are getting out there now, and it's still, I mean, I'm new to Facebook, so I'd like some help on that to make sure that I'm putting everything in the right directions. I had somebody from America contact me once, and I thought, oops, I think I've gone a bit too far now. But we've had some, but my main thing is volunteers. We've got some lovely ideas, we've done some lovely things, but we struggle. On the committee that I'm with, I'm one of the younger ones at nearly 70, and you know, they struggle sometimes. So it's getting the volunteers, and I think if we can get people that are lonely and isolated, you know, there's new people moved into the village that would come out and volunteer, they get to meet people, and they'll be a great asset. And that's where I'd like the YMCA to try and help us out as well. But that's our big thing, is the volunteers, getting people to help. apart from that, everything's positive. It's really going well. So thank you.
Great. Thanks, Sue. Thanks for sharing that. It's great to hear that you know, you've got such a positive approach. That's great. Fiona.
Hi. With the community centre, we've got a committee. It's not a very large committee. We'd really like some more people to join us to have fresh ideas. Well, we have ideas, but about a year ago we started a warm hub. The government were trying to get us to do the warm hubs in libraries and different public places. We started it with about 6 people attending. And we've been there over a year now. Within just a matter of a couple of weeks, people were saying, you know, we really don't mind about warmth. It's the companionship and the friendship and chatting to different people and having cups of teas and coffees and just having that face-to-face contact with people. And we've had several people turn up from villages around us that haven't been speaking to people or haven't spoken to anybody other than shopkeepers for many, many months. And somebody came in, hadn't spoken to anybody else for a couple of years. So it really is helping the community as a whole, and not just our village, but the surrounding villages as well. We've got some lovely volunteers, absolutely fantastic. But again, if somebody's off sick or on holiday, it means that we do struggle a little bit. So it'd be fantastic to get some more volunteers to help us out with that. That would be amazing. But it's something, as I say, we've had our first birthday party at the end of November. We had a Christmas party. We've done all sorts of different events, and every Wednesday we meet 10 till 2. And we try and get along people to give us talks or demonstrations. We have quizzes, bingos, all sorts of things to try and keep the interest there for people to come week after week. And it's fabulous. We're really, really enjoying it. As I say, we could do with some more help with the volunteers.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for that, Fiona. And I think that probably might be a very sort of common issue around volunteers, to be honest. I do hear that a lot, but it's great to hear so much sort of positivity as well. And you know, a relatively small group of people here, but there's some great examples of what can be done when communities get together and open their doors. Sally, I'll just very quickly go through that next slide, and then we can move on to the next stage. And I'm sure we can send these slides on so that you can look at them in a bit more detail. But this was just, I guess, just to wrap this section up, some thoughts that I'd had really around local decision making, enabling communities to be able to identify local needs and take action in response to them, because who's best placed to know what matters locally than local people and local residents? People will have some increased skills and confidence so that they can continue to identify and respond to needs. And the community will make a difference to the needs it prioritises, whether that's warm hubs, whether that's about bringing people round the table, whatever that might be. And ultimately people will feel that their area is an even better place to live, and it'll just increase that sense of that community being somewhere that's open and welcoming and a good place to be. And I just finished this slide with 3 questions, and excuse the sort of slightly American type language but with the use of citizens, but these are questions raised by a guy called Cormac Russell, who has done some great work around community development. And he says that the first and most important question for any community, and actually any councils and any authorities looking to know what's going on in communities, is what is it that citizens are best placed to do together on their own terms? That's the starting point. And only then should we be asking what help is needed from outside agencies. And the final question should be then, what institutional systems, which include the state, local authorities and not-for-profit organisations, what are they best placed to do? But the starting point should always be what's strong within communities, not what's wrong in communities, and actually that communities are best placed and have the resources within themselves to be able to identify and come up with resolutions for some of these issues. So thanks for your contributions for this section. That's been really, really useful. And Sally, I'll hand over to you for the next section.
So the next section was really to think about what's stopping people from getting involved, or what's stopping people from taking action. So we thought that we'd like to just take a bit of time to discuss this, because if we think we know what might be stopping people, then we can think about maybe how we get around that and what we can do to make it easier for people to get involved. Now, we're very confidently going to put you into breakout rooms. We've been practicing, haven't we, Wes?
Yes, I can confidently say that 8 people will be in breakout rooms. I'm not sure about me and you, Sally. That seems to be a step too far.
Okay, so the aim is that we have 2 breakout rooms. So that means you'll just be transported away from this main page into another little mini group. Okay, I've put a timer on it, so I've put a 15-minute timer on it. This is the question that I'd like us to discuss. What could stop people from getting involved or taking action? And the aim is that me or Wes will also join one of the groups there, so that we can take a few notes if needed. But it's yeah, the floor is yours. So go on then, Wes. You don't have to do anything, anybody. Just will be whisked away into another world.
Let's see what happens when I press this.
We're going. Oh, Roy's still here.
Oh. Oh, Roy should be in room 2.
Let's have a look at Roy. I wonder what's happening there then.
Roy, can you hear us?
Okay, so I'm going to join. I'll join room 1 then, Wes.
Can you? How do you do that, Sally? I can't see.
I just went to rooms, and then I can see the 2 rooms, and it says join next to it. Yeah. Can you see that?
So you're going in which
I'll go in
room?
1.
Room 2?
No,
1.
1. I'll go in 1. Yeah.
And then yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, that seemed to work.
We got you mid-flow. Oh, we haven't got everybody though. Let's see. Are we? Yeah. Who we're missing? We've lost some. Have we lost some people on the way? We've lost Sue.
They've gone to bingo.
We were talking bingo. Oh, we've lost Sue.
Sue. Oh, well, Sue played a very active part in our discussion, so I'm sure she's on her way.
Here we are. Look,
yeah.
She's left and come back again. Oh, lovely. Okay. I'm happy just to do quick highlights and themes from our group. Would that be useful? Yeah, quick highlight and themes. So we had a discussion around social media and sometimes how that might put people off with quite a lot of criticism and things like that. But a good discussion also how we could counteract that. Other thing was maybe confidence, not wanting to travel, transport, dark nights, especially in our county, having the time to spend when you might already have a lot of other kind of commitments. So we had a good kind of discussion around that, and so that was interesting. What about you, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, some similar points there, Sally. The time was a big part of the conversation. You know, people having the time to sort of commit to what they perceive is quite a time-consuming affair. But also there was talk of red tape as well, being a barrier. You know, for some people, just want to get on and do something that's going to benefit the community that people can enjoy, but there's all these hoops that have to be jumped through in order to make that happen, that can be a bit off-putting and a barrier for some people.
Yeah, brilliant. So we just have another little task that might kind of try and capture some of these ideas visually. So it's a little word cloud, so I'm going to launch it, and the question is, what are the top 5 barriers to increasing involvement in your area? So I'll launch this and see how that works. So you should be able to see like a little box on your screen, and you can type in just your one word answers. So it might be, if I start off with time. Yeah, so if you just click in the box and type away.
I can't see a box.
Oh,
No,
can't
no
you?
box.
Oh
No,
no.
I'm afraid not.
Oh, it says it's live. Poll notes not recorded. View results. Submit.
Nothing there.
Oh no. Oh,
Is it under chat at the top?
I can
No.
see it.
Is it under chat? Is it the little?
Yeah. It's under chat.
Oh, is it in the chat?
Oh,
So you didn't
right.
get a...
Yeah, I've got it now. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Oh,
I put something in Q&A as well, by the way, because I couldn't write in chat earlier.
oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
probably my incompetence. But anyway, I'll answer this thing now. Right, what are the top?
So if you open the chat, I see. I thought I've got a little box coming up, you see.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
What are the top 5 barriers?
Oh, it might be to do with being on a mobile and being on a desktop. So pop in your barriers.
What are the top 5 barriers to increasing involvement? To increasing.
What's the barrier? What are the barriers to getting people involved? They've got red tape, time. Oh, there we go. Shyness, confidence, suspicion, different languages, isolation, lack of time. So can you see the answers then?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
It says your response was sent to the app.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Oh, 11 responses. What's
Oh,
that?
we're learning.
11 responses more. No,
And then
no,
you can't see it.
Oh, no.
Interesting. All right, I'll read out what we've got, and I'll take a screenshot. got time and money, apathy, red tape, isolation, suspicion, responsibility, stress, shyness, cliquey committees, age, people's commitments. Did I say suspicion last time? Language. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's great. Gives us a bit of an idea. Okie doke. All righty. Hey, we're coming up to time. It's 25 past, isn't it? So I can collect those and I can share them round with the slides and the recording as well. It's just nice to get a bit of a flavour of from the discussions of what they are.
Time and confidence are the ones that really are in bigger print there, that a few people I think must have put on there, Sally.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did we make a word cloud doing that?
Yes.
Well, that's exciting. All right, you're going to share that, are you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Lovely, lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, shame that you can't see it. But yeah, I'll share that. Okie dokie. So our last bit here, I don't need to share the slide, is really just a bit of a summary and the way forward. Kind of what next. So we really appreciate your involvement tonight and your participation. It's been really lovely to hear your thoughts. So as I said before, we're planning that this might be a good idea to do every couple of months, every 2 months, and try it out over the next year. What do you think about that? Just to kind of, would that be something? Is that around about the right kind of timing, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just ask a question? Is there any way that we can make a group like this where we can exchange ideas, like via a WhatsApp group or, you know, joined emails or whatever, where we can sort of, you know, because there's some people there that look as though they've got a lot more experience than I have, and we can perhaps exchange ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, feel free to swap details if you want to now. But the other thing is we thought that it kind of in between times, something like an online group just like that Sue might be useful. I didn't know what kind of platform is more accessible for everybody. I did think that lots of people tend to use Facebook, especially you might be familiar with it because you're using it for your own groups and things like that. Would that be a platform, do you think, that might be useful for you? Because I can set up a network Facebook group where you can chat and Chris, yeah?
Yeah, Facebook works for me. What about a WhatsApp group as well? Because Facebook's open to everybody then, but WhatsApp is only the people that are actually involved in this group.
Yeah, I can make a Facebook group that just includes people that are a member of this network. So it won't be open, it'll be private, and I can send the link to people that I know are involved in this kind of work, and I can be responsible for accepting them or not.
Yeah, no, that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about anybody else?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm not against that. I put a thing in the Q&A about just how many networks some of us find ourselves involved in, and I was interested in YMCA's relationship with that. So anyway, it's not all about me. And if there was a group, Facebook or whatever, I'd try and find a representative from Boston's Methodist Churches to come on it, who was me, you know, which is good. But we are in a lot of networks. We all are, aren't we?
I think that's a really that's a good point, Val. And I noticed you asked about, is the YMCA, what other links are there? And we are linked in with like Terry Dimbleby and Elvet and various other groups. I think my feeling, and I don't know what you think, Sally, about this, this would be much more informal, not even a network. It'd be a closed Facebook group where there could be an exchange of ideas. People could just sort of say, this is my issue. Has anyone got any experience in that? Rather than it becoming sort of that more formalized side of things.
And certainly not aimed at, I mean, of course, you're very welcome, Val, but certainly not aimed at organisations. You know, there's larger organisations much more aimed at you guys who are doing the things on the ground.
I'm on the ground, mate.
I know you're on the ground.
No, I know what you
But
mean.
you know
though.
what I mean. Yeah.
I just
Anyone
talk-
volunteering.
I just talked to Sue across the meeting, Sue in Swineshead. Hello.
Yeah,
I
hi.
mean, Hiya, you'd find that helpful, wouldn't you, from a Swineshead perspective?
Yes, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen to be working on my own. This is where we say about little cliques.
Yeah.
We've got a village hall, a church hall, we've got 2 churches, we've got the parish council, we've got things, and we need to bring them all together somehow. And I think when you want to make a grant, you've got to do it as a community, you've got to be a hub, and there's still some work needed doing on that. But I'm happy to join a group here to learn, to be able to try and do that. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, I'm just an individual that's coming to this group. I'm not coming as a part of a committee or anything.
Yeah, so we can certainly do that, and we're happy to facilitate things. If there's anything particular that you'd like, I'm just going to pop up a quick questionnaire before we finish, but if there's anything really particular that you'd like to see in our subsequent kind of sessions, our subsequent webinars like this, want to make a focus, then please do tell us. Yeah, Val?
I'd really, really like one session that that brought us up to date with what YMCA is actually doing across Lincolnshire, because there's been so many changes of personnel, haven't there? Changes in emphasis, taken on different things, not doing. It would just be, could we just have a session that said, this is what we're up to across Lincolnshire? I'd like that.
Okay. I would I suppose this session isn't really just about the YMCA. The session is for the people attending, not for us. More than happy to feed in some of that information if it's useful for people in whatever way, but I'd be reluctant to take up a whole session, which is only running every 2 months, just on YMCA and what we're doing. It might not be as relevant for everybody.
Okay, where would I go to find that information?
Me and Wes.
Yeah, I would certainly be happy to have a sort of a separate conversation, as it were, and explain, you know, because you're quite right, the YMCA, which is, yeah, it's doing so many different things across the county. So more than happy for myself, Sally, to have a conversation with you, Val, and bring you right up to speed. And if anyone else was interested, could do that.
Thank you very much. Feeling a bit confused.com about YMCA, and I don't want to feel that way.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, we'd love to. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Any other kind of? Oh, I know what I was going to say. I did have a thought that you know, in the spirit of sharing ideas and things, that we're also in contact with lots of people where that are really quite established and maybe along the line with certain things. Oh, bye, Jane. Then it might be nice to maybe have like little case studies, you know, somebody coming and sharing their experience of maybe from the beginning to the end, and how they've developed things. So I thought that might be a nice idea. But yeah, just feed in whatever ideas you have, and we can make a bit of a focus for the next session. Oh, I thought you were going to say something, Jo. Okay. So just to finish,
I keep getting emails come up on my phone, so I'm pushing them off. Sorry.
Yes, Sue, did you want to say something? Oh, can't hear you, Sue. I don't know why. Try again. Yeah. Are you speaking? Oh no.
Oh.
A microphone's on mute.
Yeah. You're trying to. That's it. There you are.
I can hear you all now. I've lost you all. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Are you okay? Did you want to say something? Oh, you're all right. Okay. All right. If you don't mind, then I'm sorry that we're 5 minutes over. Can you just spare 30 seconds just to, if I just launch a quick poll? So again, we've learned that you have to look in the chat for the poll. I've learned that. So if you go into your chat, can you see and there should be 4 questions just asking for a little bit of feedback. So you'll just need to kind of like click across to the other questions.
Sally, it's not letting me access it, but it's saying it's because I'm not logged in, which is
Strange, isn't it? How's everyone else doing?
But I am on the mobile, so it could be that.
Is everyone else managing to fill it in?
Yeah.
I can maybe send these out afterwards with the stuff then anyway, Jo. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Sue can't see the questions. Are you looking in the chat, Sue?
Yes, I'm looking in the chat, but I can't see the questions.
Okay. I'll send them out after.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I lost the sound earlier because my partner decided to go out to the car and he heard you on the car, but I couldn't hear you in here.
That's the Bluetooth mystery of the Bluetooth for you, isn't it?
Mm.
Can I just, am I being really thick? Quite probably that I can't write in the chat, but I can see the chat. Did you disable chat?
No.
Writing.
No.
Val, at the bottom of when you open the chat function, is there a type a message thing at the very bottom?
Yeah, but it's just faint. You can't, when you click on it, it won't let me type.
Yeah, no, we've got other stuff in the chat, so it's definitely working.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that would be, Val.
No,
to be honest.
I could type in Q&A, but I couldn't type in chat. Very interesting. Don't worry. Don't let me dominate the conversation.
That's all right.
When I could type in there, but I couldn't view the poll. So I could type in there, but couldn't view the poll.
Maybe Val and Sue, you could probably do
together
something between you.
Anyway, thank you so much for those of you who have. I can think we've got 5, and I'll send out if you. We do appreciate a bit of feedback, so we're trying to something a bit new. So do really honestly tell us what you think and what you want. You know, so that we can make things better. That would be great. Thanks so much. Okay, so I'll draw the evening to a close, and thanks so much for your time. It's been lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Take
Goodbye.
care. Thank you. Bye.
Enjoy the